Your big goals supporting and motivating you, or are they a sneaky form of self sabotage? And I'm asking this from the recognition that my $1 million year is a form of self sabotage, or has been in my system. Not because I couldn't make $1 million in a year. In fact, I at this point have clarity that there will come a time in my life when I have $1 million year, and I feel really excited and curious about it. But when I set that intention last October, gosh, I was really feeling the excitement and truth of it. I was in this selling online event that had me like all hyped up, and and it was hype up here, but it wasn't fully embodied. And there are some great things about this journey of becoming the version of me who can make $1 million in a year, who can create that kind of value. But I've shared before that for me, money is a thin motivator. And I'm recognizing that that $1 million is more symbolic than real. And by setting this lofty goal, my inner critic actually got something really substantial to sink her teeth into and be able to sort of say, like, oh, you're not doing enough, you're not making enough progress. The inner critic and the perfectionist are one and the same. And this big lofty goal has been real fodder for that part of me. And I'm feeling this shift as in other platforms I've started a different approach for the next year, which is I am in a season of let me find out what's possible as I invest in a magical orientation and taking a magical approach to life. And by magic, I mean let me find out what's possible without living inside the lines of what's realistic or what's reasonable. I had this amazing epiphany when I was working on the Fairy Godmother Daily on Tuesday, where I realized every interpretation that I live inside is made up. It's just that the reasonable or realistic interpretations have come from so many different voices outside, so many different directions, that it feels true, but it's just as made up as anything magical. And the way that this idea of approaching a year more magically like lives in my body is so palpably different from the intention to make $1 million in a year. It is rising up from the inside, and it really lives in the moment, right? Like, how can I live and move magically in this moment is so actionable. Whereas the intention to make $1 million in a year is like outside of me. I can't control how the universe responds to me, what opportunities come my way. I can only control and influence how I'm being and how I respond, and make myself more and more available to respond in the moment. And this feels really important to share, because I know so many of us are chasing goals that are about who we think we want to be, or the experiences we think we want to have, how we want to feel. But we've created so many layers of abstraction between how we want to feel and what we think will give us that feeling, that it's really outside of us. And it's so influenced by the culture, right? Like, money isn't really an experience. Even what you want in terms of money is about what it will allow you to experience and what that will allow you to feel. And so I want to invite you to get curious and sort of skeptical about what your big dreams, like, how are they supporting and nourishing you? Are they supporting and nourishing you? And if they're not, or if they're sort of doing a like typewriter keystroke jam situation, which is really what it feels like for me. Like there's some motivation, but then like a lot of resistance comes up, and then it's like, here I am, I'm stuck, jammed up with myself. And there's something powerful about that too, right? Like every time you become jammed up with yourself is another opportunity to meet yourself more deeply, to meet the parts of you who are not aligned, so that you can over time create that alignment and move with less inner friction, and become a more honed blade cutting through the meat of your life, if you will. But what if you can let that resistance go? And what if you can be setting intentions and goals that support you in a less frustrating and frictious way? And so that's, I'm really seeing how like ambition can be a double-edged sword, or can be a sword that we turn against ourselves. And that certainly is true for me as like a high achiever who's gotten a lot of identity and location from that, a sense of meaning and purpose. And if you're here, then I suspect the same is true for you. So the invitation then is, what is an intention for how to be that in this moment feels good, that gives you a sense of lift and buoyancy and excitement, that carries you forward, where you are building trust with yourself and the ability to take action on a regular basis towards your dream. Like your dream gets to be your North Star. It's like offering you direction, but that the lift comes from in this moment. How am I approaching things? How am I interpreting things? How am I relating to myself and the experiences that I'm having? And I'm curious what shifts for you as you feel into that change. So I'm still in this $1 million year, and I'm not, like, one thing that I have learned is like, once you set yourself an intention, like carry on with it. Especially if there's an end date, which mine is October 29th of this year. I am open to making $1 million, but I am not here to grind for it. I'm not here to like reject and alienate myself for it. It's not worth $1 million if I harm myself and split myself and fracture myself in the process. What I want to feel like is like, I want to feel like I have $1 million, like that I am capable, and that I'm giving and receiving in abundant flow, that I'm like fucking delighted by my life and by how I get to live it, and what I get to share and do, and who I get to do it with. And so that's the North Star that I'm cultivating inside this year, this journey to $1 million. And like, how do I get like $1 million worth of on my own side? How do I love myself so much that like no $1 million would be worth giving up that feeling? And actually, like, I already am on my way to that, in a way that is much more palpable than being on my way to the $1 million. I have had so far the least profitable year in my business since I started my business in 2018. Is that right? Maybe not the first couple of years, but then I was still working. And like, there's part of me that's like ashamed and doesn't want me to say that out loud, but I want to say it because if you're here, you're ashamed of something. There is something that you're holding against yourself and feeling like you're not good enough or you're doing it wrong. And I want to invite you into this reflection of, what if where you are is perfect? What if in this moment you are exactly where you need to be? And what if, as you soften the case against yourself, you make room for the truth of your perfection, for connection with your perfection, and for whatever you feel ashamed about to also be there, but like not to be evidence that you're the piece of crap that your mind is inferring, but just as like evidence that you're human, that you care, that you want to be better, and that like you deserve to be wholly embraced in your own love. So that is a long overdue overview of the last few months of this journey to $1 million and where I am right now. And if you want to be following with more regularity my journey of finding out what's possible as I live more magically, I invite you to follow me on TikTok or Instagram at The Rosa Technique. And if you want to join a group that is doing this kind of transformative work through love and faith, you're invited to join the Radiant Life Circle, which is a sweet membership that I have going, or to join an upcoming full moon ritual. I'll share links for both of those in the description below. How did this land for you, my friends? I would love to hear what is arising, what's going on for you. I'm so glad and grateful to be connected.